What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Sneaker Homegirls podcast. I'm Rosetta Gutierrez-Uy.
And I am Maria DiMaggio Hickman. We're two Las Vegas realtors blending real estate, hustle, and sneaker culture all in one place.
If you're into real estate, entrepreneurship, and making big moves, then you're in the right spot.
We're breaking down market trends, sharing behind-the-scenes stories, and giving you game on how to build wealth through real estate.
And of course, we're talking sneakers, culture, and how we stay fresh while handling business.
So hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. This is the Sneaker Homegirls podcast. Welcome to the Sneaker Homegirl podcast.
Hello. Maria, we did some fun things this weekend.
Wow, I'm exhausted.
I am very exhausted.
I love how we both wore a hat today without even planning it.
I felt like this added a little bit of realtor-y.
Oh, the jacket?
The jacket.
You for sure look very professional today.
It's also a little windy, so sometimes I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And the hat was one of the hats that one of our agents made for the police and fire game. Shout out to Brian for the awesome hat. I love it. We were rocking them.
Yeah, not going to say any names, but I know that we took some video of who was going to win the police and fire game. The police won. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
But you know, I think I was going for fire. I really was. I think it's because they won last year. After a while, I was like, okay, maybe the police.
Yeah, the police held strong the whole game. They really did. They were dominating the whole game. And then at the very end, I felt so bad for that guy that got hurt. It was fire was up or down. What was it? 14-4. And they were going for a touchdown with like 4 seconds left on the clock. And this guy went into the middle of the end zone and just got collided by two police. And he was laying on the ground for a long time. And then a fight broke out. And I was like, oh my God, this is like real football. Like crazy. I you see these guys, they're grown men and they are out there just killing it on the football field. And they're not professional football players. They are police officers and firefighters. So I just thought it was such a cool game. Let's talk a little bit about the organization.
Yeah. So here, let me look it up so I don't mess this up. The charity tournament has been happening for a really long time, but we actually followed them on Instagram, which is how we were able to be a part of that. And you spend time at Gorman, so you know that. It's a great cause.
It took a break. It started like in the 70s, I think, and then they took a break for a long time, and they just brought the game back in 2022. They started off at Bonanza High School and then switched it up to Bishop Gorman High School, and now the Fertittas kind of helped facilitate that and get the game back at Gorman. And it's fantastic. It's a free game for the public, which is really cool. They do charge VIP seating, which is up in Ryan Hall in the ATC at Bishop Gorman. They had it absolutely gorgeous up there. They had leather couches. They had a full service bar. They had that charcuterie board, whatever display. Oh my gosh. And then they had a really cool silent auction with awesome stuff too. So it was great. But what does all the money go to?
So Leaf Charities, I think that was the logo we had on our t-shirts that we made. It says the LVPPA's Law Enforcement Assistant Fund is dedicated to supporting the families of Southern Nevada police officers who made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. Every donation, big or small, helps us stay connected with the families of fallen officers and ensures that their children receive support at every milestone in their life. And that was really cool too. Mm-hmm. So we were able to talk to someone that is in the program and like is in the day-to-day, is also still a police officer, says that they're at like the weddings, their graduations, and I thought that was really great.
Yeah, and they supply gifts, they help them with their colleges, like they don't leave them, which is really nice because when you lose a mom or a dad, a lot of times a big part of the financial support goes away. And so this foundation allows for that to continue, which is fantastic. So they do it every year now. Since 2022, they're back at it again. And it's just something to look into. What's their Instagram so if people want to follow it?
Their Instagram
Sorry,
is...
I'm putting you on the spot.
No, it's fine. I'm just on their lvppa.loss.vegas.
So go and follow them and just continue to watch and learn all they're doing for the amazing people in our community that keep us safe and also, just help houses and all buildings that are on fire and all the other amazing things that firefighters do for us. So go and support our police officers and their families, because ultimately the families put up with a lot. People don't really talk about like what families of police officers and firefighters deal with, but there's a lot of trauma in their jobs. And, you know, we were talking to Greg and he was saying how back in the day, there was no help for that. Like you just sucked it up and you went to work and you dealt with seeing, you know, he was talking about how you're with somebody the last 2 minutes of their life sometimes, or you're seeing a kid overdosing on drugs, and they just deal with so much hard stuff. And then they have to go back to their families and just be a dad or be a husband, and nobody really helps them get through that trauma. And so it's not an easy job at all.
I feel that when you have a family member or a friend that is in an active duty or a line of duty where it's like very stressful, you come home, all I can think to myself is like, how was your day? You're like, how do I unpack that I was spending the last 2 minutes of this person's life with them? Because, you know, they're not always just accidents, right? They're domestic violence, they're shootings, they're, you know, fires, or, you know, whatever it is, medical emergencies, and they can be very scary.
Absolutely. Yeah. We got to really just think about that and really respect their job even more than I feel like. I after talking to him, I had a huge like epiphany of, wow, they really do go through a lot on a day-to-day basis. You know, like he was saying, you know, going out and getting shot at. Like I never will know what that feels like, hopefully. But they just deal with a lot. And so I love that. And I think that also, even subconsciously, not knowing all of the fine tuning of it is why I have always been like such a huge heart for police officers and firefighters, and why we give back to them with our loan program, with our real estate program. And we really try and help them get into homes when otherwise they wouldn't be able to. So one of the things we do as realtors is we give a portion of our commission back to them.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that.
I think that I know that for, what is it called? The Firefighter Next Door program?
Yeah.
So there's the Firefighter Next Door program. There's also the police.
It's the Officer Next Door program.
The Officer Next Door program. So part of the bonuses that you get by doing your job and being in that line of work, you get credits towards your closing costs.
Yes.
That are pulled out of either commission or grants, right? I was like, I don't know. Money.
Yes, money.
But it goes towards the family because, you know, we're grateful and thankful for what you do. And there's nothing that can be a dollar amount to suffice. So
Absolutely.
We're going to try and do this and, you know, give our best to help those people out, because I don't think in that area of work there's much support unless you have like an LVPPA or something in your district if you're not in Nevada.
Right. Absolutely. And that's the thing, is like, anyway, we can't do much. Like, we can support this foundation, we can support this game, we can support all the things they're doing, but we can give back. And so our team at MD Homes, we give a percentage of our commission to them at closing, which reduces their closing cost. And then our lenders on our team also give. So you're getting from the realtor and you're getting from the lender, and it just helps reduce. We also have awesome 0 down loan programs that they can do. Essentially just trying to get them into a home as cheap as possible and as easy as possible, because that's the thing. It's like, we don't want them renting. We want them building generational wealth through owning real estate, especially here in Vegas. So
yeah, a lot of those service type of works, like teachers and also nurses and things like that, those are the people that we see when things are not very good, right? Usually when you run into those people, it's like, okay,
yes.
It's not always a great interaction. I think real estate is comparable to that. It's not always because it's your first house. Right. Sometimes it's because of reasons that you can't predict.
Yeah, absolutely. And any way that we can come in on the long side and support, we're going to do it. And with teachers, the one thing we run into with teachers a lot, they have so much student loan debt. And it's on the lending side, it's really hard to get them approved, because you have to include, even if they aren't making student loans, you still have to take a portion of them and include them in their payment. And it doesn't always correlate to salary when it comes to teachers. You know, as a professional, if you have your master's degree or your doctorate in something, usually your salary kind of matches how much you've spent in student loans. Not so much with teachers. They really get maxed out at how much they can make, and it never really, I don't know, pays for itself. And teachers do this for love. It's their charity. It's their ministry that they do. And, you know, it's hard to get them approved sometimes. So just being there for teachers too, and being able to give back to them and being able to get them in a zero down. Nevada has a wonderful zero down loan program, bond program for teachers. And so we do that one a lot for them as well. So we're here just to try and help everybody who's helping the community. We want to help you start building generational wealth. And so our team just gives back. We love it.
Yeah, and I think that's a big core value of our team also is giving back to the community and educating them, because sometimes they don't know where to find that information, right? People that have experienced it or been around people who have done the loan program, maybe they do. But that's why you should come to our brunch and learn every month.
Every month. Every month. Look it up.
Yep, this month will be the 18th. I will not be there. So I won't get a chance to bring as many people.
Aw, win the $100 gift card.
Yeah, with the $100 gift card.
So what else? So yeah, at the game, was there any highlights that you remember that you liked?
I ate a lot of sushi.
This girl, sushi, hot dogs, donuts. Oh my gosh, can you eat? I'm so jealous.
So they were like,
She eats more than my husband.
so they make, I definitely eat like a linebacker. They were cooking free hot dogs and hamburgers at the game.
Yeah.
And Maria wouldn't come with me because I'm like, oh, here are all these firefighting men over there. And I'm like, oh, can I just get a hot dog? Can I just get two? And I'm like looking around like, do I just help myself? Like, I don't know. Because they were all laying out in pans. And I think your daughter said the same thing. They were like, do we go back
Yeah,
there?
she was nervous.
And I'm just like, hello? Like, these men don't speak anything. And they're like, yeah, sure, fine. I'm like, okay. And then I went back for more hot dogs later.
Yes, and then she went to the VIP room and ate the heck out of sushi.
Shout out
And
to
then
Click Hospitality. Thank you very much. It was very delicious.
And then she went to the Pink Box and got donuts.
Okay, the donuts. First off, I didn't go for the donuts. Nevaeh
Oh,
brought
she's gonna
me
blame
the
it on my
donuts.
daughter. Okay.
Nevaeh brought me the donuts. She got 2 boxes of donuts. She goes, I got your team donuts. And I'm like, dang it. That means I got to eat a donut, right? And then she was like, yeah, I paid for them. I'm like,
She did pay for them.
I know. I'm like,
Crazy.
you're so sweet.
With my money, though.
I know. She's so funny. She's like, money just appears in my wallet. I'm like, because your mom put it there. What are you talking about?
Oh, the money tree in the backyard just gives and gives and gives. At least to my kids, not to my bank account, but to theirs it does.
I know. She's so funny. She's like, we'd be rich, Mom, without the boys. Where do you think the boys are going?
Right? And if she only knew what her salary was compared to the rest of them.
Oh my
that
gosh.
cheerleading. Give me a break.
Cheer moms.
Yeah.
What do you always say? You pay $58 for how many minutes?
2 minutes and 36 seconds. And 58 is actually cheap. It's usually in the 70s. per
Really?
ticket. Mm-hmm.
And it's like a 3-day conference
2 to 3 day. Yeah.
competition? What is it called?
competition.
Okay.
Yep. And they go out there, they cheer first day for 2 minutes and 36 seconds. And then they go out the second day and cheer for 2 minutes and 36 seconds. And then it's over.
I can't get over how expensive the bow is.
I know. $50, $70. It depends. Is it
Can you use the bow again?
not after the season's over? And the practice bow, you got to have a practice bow. And then you have to have 2 comp bows.
A $50 practice bow.
Yeah. And then comps are like $70.
$150 for bows.
Yes. Yep.
And you can't use them again next year.
No,
So
every year there's a different one.
Every year. That's expensive.
And then-
have they always been that much?
No, probably not.
Okay.
As we get evolved,
Do we
have
need to make bows?
one up each other. You know, if this cheer gym's doing this, then this cheer gym has to do this.
Oh.
It's kind of like that.
Okay, got it. So
And
they
then-
want the best bow.
Of course,
Okay,
you got to
they
have
want the
the,
best
especially
bow.
at Kelly All Stars now.
Well, is it because like when you compete, it just looks like
Yeah,
beautiful?
it's sparkly.
I was gonna
and-
say, I will say the 2 minutes that they do perform, they look nice.
they do look
the
nice.
bows look nice.
And then this year is a new uniform year, so that'll be about $650 for a new uniform.
One uniform.
They use it for 3
Do you have
years
to dry
though.
clean it?
No, you can wash it and then you just have to air dry it.
Yeah, you don't put
Yeah.
it in the dryer.
But yeah, anybody who's thinking and get into competitive cheer, you might need to take out a HELOC.
I don't know if you know about this, because you come from a sports family, but I heard that cheer is one of the like number one scholarships that like parents want their kids to get
girls.
For girls.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is. It's good. It's hard though, because not a lot of colleges have that high level of cheer to give out the thing. So you have to be good.
Do you feel like they used to?
I still think it's easier because of the regulations on how many scholarships they have to give to girls. They have to match how many they give to girls as they do to boys.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's easier because there's not as many girl sports, right?
Yeah.
So, and then there's a gym. I think it's in Texas. Not a gym, a college. I'm going to say it wrong. I don't know. But anyway, it is a college that all the cheerleaders want to go to. Nouveau, or I'm sorry, I'm butchering it. If you know it, put it in the comments. But yeah.
Let us know how much tuition is.
Yeah. But it's like, if you are the cheerleader, that's where you go. And that's where Nevaeh's dream is to go. But
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No more donuts.
No, exactly.
She comes outside, she goes, I can't eat any more donuts. And I'm like, you're holding the box.
Oh, she was feeling so sick after that day because she was like you. She was going up to the VIP and eating her butt off. I was like, girl, you're going to be sick.
They're pink box donuts. They're like big donuts.
Yeah.
They're not tiny little Krispy Kreme donuts, you know?
No, they're fancy.
They're very fancy.
Well, that's why they're $12 a donut or whatever they are.
It was ridiculous. I love donuts, though.
What else is happening?
I had fun, though.
Yeah, I did too. It was really good. And I'm excited to really partner up and link with them and be a big part of their baseball game that they have. I really would like to fly up to Reno and see that flag game.
In July.
Yeah, lots of ways to kind of help and support them. So I'm excited to become a partner of theirs for sure.
I know they were really excited because we sponsored the police locker room, and they said to us, and it kind of made me cry a little bit. They were like, they don't always think of us.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, really? So remember that when I get a ticket.
Yeah, exactly. Remember what we did for you.
You see little Addie going through there, going a little too fast. You're like, oh, okay, don't look.
Let her go.
Empty homes. It's fine. So that was fun. But it made me appreciative because, when he was going into those stories about the fallen officers, like, it's really the family that hurts when a police officer is deceased. Like, the kid could be 5. Right. So now you have 13 years raising this kid. Maybe the mom was supported by dad this whole time, and maybe they weren't as, no one plans for that.
Absolutely.
It's a hard life to live after that. So that was really cool. I'm happy to be more involved with them.
Yes, me too.
And I love baseball.
And I love football. So there we go. We got our things.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the market. I'm going to say the numbers and let's see what you think for the week. Okay, so we have, I think Josh said it the other day. I need to find out how to look it up on my mobile, but we have 1129 new listings this week.
That's good. That's up from last week.
11.99 price decreases. Okay, I never understood this one, but I'm going to say it because I didn't say it last time. 86 price increases.
Okay. But that could be you dropped it and you could increase it $1. I've done this before where I've increased it $1 just so it comes up new on everyone's feed. So that could be that is just like it's a sale listing.
Yeah.
And then you just increase it. And then the next week you decrease it by $1 and then it goes into everybody's email box. So that could be what that is.
Okay. And then we have 551 sold.
Okay. That's down, right? Wasn't it 600 last week?
I think it was 800.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're also getting to those hotter months, right? So technically last week was May, right? So it would have been in escrow in April.
Right.
So now it's May. It would be middle April still. So when, prices started to change a little bit. So maybe they're coming down. And 14 properties under contract contingent on sale.
Okay.
So we have some, I think that number is going to go up.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, there is definitely more houses available. I took people out yesterday and there was more variety out there for them. We were in the $500,000 price range. But like they're on the market a lot longer. Like I would say the average one I showed was 56 days average. So they're staying on the market longer and definitely open to price reductions and offers, and closing costs, getting closing costs paid. So like, everyone's like, is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? I personally see it as a buyer's market. Right now, I feel like a buyer can really go out there and get a decent price on a house. You can get concessions paid with, the right type of contract, having it written up. And I feel like go out there and just ask. Like the buyers I took out yesterday, it was a house that they liked that's been on the market for 134 days. And I'm like, let's just ask. Let's go as low as we can go and let's start it. And then you'll see where the seller's at. So I feel like it's a great opportunity for buyers right now. What do you think?
I think it is an excellent time for sellers right now because there's not much inventory. So let's say you have a hidden gem in Summerlin and there hasn't been a home for sale in that street. There are a lot of people looking at your house. So I think that's a great opportunity for them to get top dollar compared to 2021 where we had like 10 houses on the street for sale. So they kind of picked what fit them best. In a buyer's market, as a seller, I think that's very key, valuable. What you said is that, now that you're selling, where are you going?
Right.
And it amazes me sometimes when I talk to other customers that have bought or sold homes in the past that they never got pre-approved.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what? You in escrow. You about to leave 15 days from now. What you mean you get approved?
Right.
And sometimes, unfortunately, income's changed, cost of living changes, and they don't qualify for what they, have gotten in the past, or what they're moving into next may not be, what fits their lifestyle. So they just stay.
Yeah. Yep. This morning, I had a phone call with a lady in New York. And I was, kind of describing the program. She's a nurse, and I was explaining what we do for her. And then she goes, well, I'm not ready to get pre-approved. I just want to look at houses. And I said, well, you need to get pre-approved because how are you going to know what houses, you can afford? Oh, I know what I can afford. I said, okay, but you're not going to be able to look at houses without a pre-approval letter. No decent agent's going to take you out, and no decent agent is going to allow somebody to come in and show their listing without making sure that the person's been pre-approved. She was adamant about it. She goes, it's just too stressful to do two things at once. I want to find the house and then I want to get pre-approved. And I was like, oh my God. We just got to educate them. I spent like a half hour on the phone with her this morning, just kind of educating her. Finally, at the very end, she understood what I was saying. And I'm like, even if you know your price range, even if don't you really want to know? Don't you want to see the numbers? And she was like, well, I guess so. I go, because rates are different than they were when you bought the house that she's in now. She was wanting to do that too. Put her house on the market, go out there and just kind of wing it. I'm like, that's so scary to me.
Yeah.
Not with the way things are now. You can't. We don't have 2% and 3% interest rates where you'll be able to find something.
No. And I'm starting to think now we should have never been that low.
I know.
I'm like, you're scaring the public. Okay. Money ain't free. All right. You want $800,000 and you got $0 down. Okay. Let's talk about that. And you want it for 1% interest rate? Right. You won't even lend your sister $10. Like, what are you talking about? But I think that education is where you start, and really, because no one likes to be denied.
Right.
Opening up the safe place of a conversation of what you make. It's not we're going to nitpick what you do. We don't care.
Right.
Okay. I just need a letter that says you can afford it.
Yep.
I don't care. I don't care what you do. I don't care how you got there. I don't care where your money is or what it is. I want a pre-approval letter that says by income and assets
that have been verified.
Have been verified because
exactly.
I think sometimes lenders just issue pre-approval letters. New realtors don't know, not all the time, and clients don't know, and they'll be like, "Yeah, they told me I was pre-approved." They told you were pre-approved, or you got a letter, like a marketing letter,
right,
today from your bank?
Yeah.
Question. Because this is why I always recommend local lenders, is the local lender will work harder for you than anyone else, unless you got 10 million in the bank.
Right.
Yep. And even then, you're still getting a 5% interest rate. Like, it's not based on who you are, because if you had money, you'd pay cash.
Exactly. And people who like I had a client a couple years ago who had the money, but still chose to get the loan for a portion of it just because his financial advisor talked with him and for him it made sense. So, it's not everybody that is getting loans because they don't have the money. Some people do and they still decide to do it. But I just think no matter where you're at in an income tax bracket, you just having that pre-approval is just the safest place to be. And then you can go out shopping with confidence and ease, knowing that, hey, this is going to be no problem and you're not wasting your time or anybody else's time. So,
well, and one thing I love that you guys do is you rate them for hire. And I never thought about that because that makes sense. Because when I do like estimated settlement sheets or, I'm not a financial advisor or attorney,
right.
You can call those people, but here's a generalized estimate since you're not safe to talk to them.
Right.
When I put it together, I think the big change in rates, a quarter, a point, whatever the amount is, like that's like a $400 to $600 a month jump. And buyers all the time with agents that don't have putting their foot down and saying, hey, you should get pre-approved before that, or, whatever it is, or at least have a generalized range of it. I think that's where our industry lacks and why listing agents out there don't want to work with some buyer's agents because they don't know what they're doing, instead of like, I get that it's not their job to do that, but it's brokers' jobs to help them.
Yeah. And as a buyer's agent though, gosh, why would you want to not know? Why would you not want to know for sure? So you're not driving around town taking people out that you don't know. So I mean, it isn't their job. They don't need to know all the ins and outs. But like you said, that pre-approval letter, that is just one thing in their toolbox that they have that says, okay, these people are safe to take out. Stuff still happens even with a pre-approval letter once you get into contract, but at least it's a pretty good safe, okay, we're not going to be wasting our time here.
Well, and that's why I like our one-stop shop, because it is a simple process, but it does take time to learn.
Right.
Absolutely. So I think that we do an efficient job of going over everything together. So when you are out shopping for homes, you know exactly where you need to be, where you're comfortable with, and if it's affordable for you, like livable, really. Because most people, and I have a client right now, they're approved for like 1.6 and they're buying at 600,000. Just because you got approved doesn't mean you want to pay that.
Yes.
So knowing a better understanding of how far your money can go, I think is important.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everybody wants to know their cash to close. What is going to be expected at closing? What's my monthly payment going to look like? And before we even hand deliver a client over to you guys as realtors from the lending side, we've already gone over that with them. We've already gone over their estimated, because like I've always said, a buyer who has the knowledge is a very powerful buyer. If they're out going blindly, they're scared, they're nervous, they're not ready to hurry up and make that commitment. But if we've gone over and we've done our job on the lending side, that buyer is a confident buyer. And when they find the house that they want, they're going to go after and get it and not be hesitant.
I feel like the biggest red flag for a lender for me is if they don't know what my client does for a living.
Oh, God, girl. Yes.
I'm like, don't you look at their pay stubs?
It's kind of
it's
like
not
right
a
on the
disclosure to know
application.
what industry they're in. Gosh. And listen, I think that going back to education, however you operate or your broker operates, you'll mirror that. So you really want to align yourself with people that are in that hustle mentality, that get things done, that really just are open and honest in a safe space for us to transact real estate.
Absolutely.
Because it doesn't have to be dramatic.
No, it doesn't. And there are things that can happen. I don't want to poop on lenders that have difficulties, because there are things that can happen throughout the loan process that are unexpected, and it does it. But just making sure you have a good team that's going to be there to support you and make sure that they have your back is super important. And I feel like that's what we do at MD Homes and the Sneaker Homegirls, is we have that support within our team.
And communication. If there is something going on, communicate. If you are struggling with something, communicate. We're all here to help our clients.
Yeah.
So if there is something that title could help you with, or the lender could help you with, or the agent can help you with, we're going to try to do that as best we can.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, we're going to stay in our lane. most of the time.
Yeah, we should.
But, we'll get it done.
Yeah.
Also to make sure that things go smoothly.
Absolutely. Well, if you are looking to purchase a home or just learn more about getting pre-approved, please reach out to us at the Sneaker Homegirls, and we will be more than happy to help you. And shout out to our police and fire.
Woo!
Thank you.
See you next time. That's a wrap for this episode of the Sneaker Homegirls podcast.
We appreciate you for tapping in and rocking with us. Real estate, hustle, and sneakers. That's what we do.
If you got value from this episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you never miss an episode.
Also, follow us on Instagram at The Sneaker Homegirls for behind-the-scenes content, market updates, and of course, sneaker drops.
Let us know in the comments what topics you'd like us to cover next. We love hearing from you.
Until next time, keep hustling, stay fresh, and we'll catch you on the next episode.